How you doing, everybody? Nick DiVirgilio here to talk to you and to play for you this Pearl Mach 3 Cajon. And Pearl has definitely taken the Cajon drum to a whole new level with this. You get three distinct tones from this drum. You get the low end of a kick drum, the snap of a snare with the little snare wire buzz, and a simulated tom-tom sound, all in one box drum. It's really cool and a lot of fun to play. This is a all-birch box, all-birch shell, and each of the zones has its own port in the back of the drum, so it kind of takes away the crosstalk. The tom port sounds, just clearly like the tom. The snare is clearly like the snare, and there's two ports for the low-end sort of kick drum spot on the drum. And man, it's just a lot of fun to play. You get a lot of different options here. Let me play you what each tone sounds like on its own. So here is the low-end section. Get a nice boom out of it, but it's really clear and snappy. The birch shell kind of gives you that attack and projection, but you definitely get some nice warmth low end to it. Over here, the smallest part of the drum is the snare. Has a little snare wire buzz to it. Let me play you that. Very cool, pleasant sound. The snare wires are snapping really tightly and quickly, but it definitely gives off that kind of backbeat feel. This zone right here, it's a little bit bigger than the snare drum zone, is what they're calling the tom sound, and it's just dry. It doesn't have the snare wire buzz, but it's nice and high pitched. Let me play that for you. Again, very high and attacky. You play with the tips of your fingers here and you get a nice crack. And those ports in the back definitely isolate each sound. I mean, I'm playing right next to the snare section and I don't hear the snare wires buzz at all. So it's really cool. It really does the trick, those isolated ports. Now let me get into it where I play all three zones together in a groove. Here we go. Really, really fun to play. The front of the Cajon here is angled, which makes it really nice and easy and ergonomic. You don't have to, a lot of Cajon drums are flat on the front. Sometimes you have to lean back to make it more comfortable to play or really hunch over. The angled front panel here is really nice and makes it a lot easier. You don't have to do that as much. All right, you can take the Cajon in so many areas of music today, definitely in the more ethnic style of traditional Cajon playing, all the way up to today's pop music, lots of, drum and bass, coffee house gigs, church, house of worship gigs, so many areas. This drum will really fit in just perfectly. They record really well. This one I've never recorded this actual drum, but I think it'd be a lot of fun to have these three zones and to take it in the studio. I think you could get really creative with this drum in the studio as well. So all in all, this is a really, really cool drum I encourage you to check out. So if you want any more information about this Pearl Mach 3 Cajon, just talk to your Sweetwater sales engineer.